Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and welcome back to another episode of It's Look Who It Is. It's Look Who It Is. It's potentially even look. Use your eyes. Open them now. Anyways, what are we talking about? I don't know. It's the month of Moriko, baby! It is M-O-M. It's Pride Month. That's awesome. And it's also the month of Moriko, so we're playing Moriko again. We might get a little bit of Yumiko in there if I'm not afraid of the discourse. If I'm not afraid of the Yumiko discourse, we might we might cook just a little bit. We've been doing a lot of the gods that we have unlocked recently. I'm pretty sure we've been like relatively even-handed in, I don't know, like rotating them in and out. I think we've done Athyellazath recently, though, and this is like an actual... This is an actual Moriko run with Moriko's perks. I probably should have done all perks again, just as like a little treat. I have... I forgot that I made my Minecraft thing in OBS called Flint and Steel. Listen, the thing about the Minecraft movie is that I've heard it's, like, really, really bad, but then I've also heard that it's, like, got some redeeming moments, and it's, like, cute enough, but it's, like, all over the place, you know? And, like, half of the cast doesn't really do anything, so it's just, like, Jack Black doing shenanigans, which, admittedly, Jack Black doing shenanigans is a pretty good sell for a movie. You know, I like... There are, like, 3... people who are, like, celebrity guys, I guess, who I like watching movies of. Like, I'll turn on a movie and I'll see them in it, and I'm like, oh, you know, there's gonna be some shenanigans here. You know, Jack Black, Adam Sandler, and Nicolas Cage. I like watching those 3. I think they're very entertaining. I don't know, like, you know, I'm not an actor, I know nothing about acting, but I don't know if they're, like, particularly good. But I do like those 3. They're fun. I like seeing them. They're a nice treat. Bulletin Board, Fear Festival, Botany, Recluse. I mean, we got a lot of forest gaming here. I'm thinking it's a little bit of a oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb, chat. Oh well, whatever. We'll take the jar of blood. Put the jar of blood in the bag, bro. Although, you know, I immediately see something like this, and I'm like, you know, maybe we're not fine. Maybe we're not... Only Moriko, man. She misses the attacks that are likely to hit. I've been saying this for 80 years. I don't know how to feel about it necessarily. Let's get some bonus EXP. We actually have, like, guaranteed good perks in the pool. Now, with that being said, can I get a little bit of a glug glug? Can I get a little bit of a glug glug as we take, like, 4 stamina damage for free? And now I'm like, you know, we're going to the Witch's Tree to gain some stamina. We're getting one of the worst curses in the game, and then we're just moving on over to a doomed village, into a doomed forest, into a... I'll take a safe forest for 2 mysteries, please. A couple of doomed village investigations, never killed anybody. That's actually not true. There are a lot of really bad village investigations, but we don't have to go there very long. We can do this, and we'll be perfectly fine. Ghostly Spear Expel Evil? Holy crap, what the heck? I mean, we've got the whole goddamn red carpet rolled out for us. I don't know how to feel about that, chat. I don't know how to feel about that at all. That's peak. But, you know what we can do? You know what we can't do? You know what we can do? You know what we can't do? Right. Can we do this at least? You gotta Ghostly Spear this, right? Or do you just use the handcuffs? You just use the handcuffs. You just use the handcuffs, chat. You just use the handcuffs, chat. It's just that simple. It's just as shrimple as that. So, you know, I've been recognizing something recently that bothers me a little bit. So when I record myself with these exact audio settings, with nothing different, with nothing, you know, nothing different, nothing changed, like these audio settings exactly. When I record myself, okay, I sound like this. And I think that assuming nothing went horribly wrong, like my microphone connection's loose, I accidentally unplugged a cable, I nudged the audio DAC so the connections are loose on there, I bumped my computer so the audio DAC connection to the computer is loose, or maybe the microphone slid in a weird way that I wasn't seeing, and now it's off slightly so it sounds weird, whatever, you know. Infested Girl's second enemy, by the way. Lock it in. That'll be on the test for later. Maybe? Maybe. Can't confirm that, but can I get an Infested Girl in the comments down below? Just to remind me, chat, that's your engagement bait for the day. When I record myself, I sound, I believe, decently fine. It could be a lot better, but it's definitely listenable, and I think it's okay. I think it's perfectly fine for what I'm trying to do on this channel, and for what I'm trying to do with this content. Now, you take that, and then you hear me on, like, I don't know if it's still on Tourmaline's stream, but you hear me on, like, my static members record our prog, and then upload private videos or clips, and I sound like I am just being... I'm just super loud. Like, I'm super loud to the point where it's like, I sound like I'm speaking through a megaphone almost, and it's so bizarre, and it feels so wrong, because I listen to my voice at least a little bit every day, because of, you know, it's Look Who It Is, because of this, right? And I do, when I was a kid, I was very self-conscious about my voice, you know, I was extremely self-conscious about my voice. Now I think my voice is alright, I like my voice a lot, but... you know, when I hear myself through other people, it's like, well, my audio setup only goes, like, some of the way, you know? Because I sound good to me and to these videos, tentatively, questionably good. But when I listen to myself through my friends, it's like, oh my god, this sounds awful. What the hell is going on here? You know, it's just genuinely really surprising and shocking. You're a son of a gun. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. -3 to all. What the hell's your problem? Honestly, I'm kind of ammo stash fiending right now. We've been firing every bullet that we've got. So give me a few more. Put the shotgun shells in your pocket. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. I'm not taking Fujiko for -3 reason. I'm sorry. I don't remember what you do. Remind me. You know what? I'll actually take that. That's Jar of Blood insurance. We ball with that. And you know what? It's too risky. And then I'm going to onsen. The hot spring feels great. Finally, you can relax. You should be able to fill the empty bottle with onsen water. I don't even know if that's the correct use of the word, by the way. I am not very knowledgeable when it comes to words that I don't know. Oh, bro, that's crazy. You know, that reminded me, I watched a video about 40% of, like, Americans are illiterate or whatever, and it was going over how that's, like, a slightly fake statistic, but also, like, semi-real. Like, it's not real, because there's no, like, actual... I was gonna say representation of the data. There's no, like, sources for the data, you know? But it's just sort of, like, conglomerated from a bunch of other stuff, and there's, like, a functionally illiterate, there's, like, a functional illiteracy rate, and that shit's so scary, man, because I used to read a lot of books, right? There was a period where I was reading books like a machine gun, you know? And, listen, they were fiction books, so, you know, not, like, great, challenging literature, but, you know, there was a point where, you know, a new light novel for a Japanese series that I like, or like a Korean or Chinese series would come out that I like, and I would read that light novel, and I would just read the whole thing in like an afternoon. I'd read the whole thing in a day. You know, I would reread the Overlord light novels like over and over and over and over and over again, right? And so I used to read a lot, and yeah, sure, they were not challenging. They were not like, you know, real, like, brain busters, real making you think moments. But I would like to think that I'm, like, pretty good at reading, and I would like to think that my literacy is pretty decent, because I usually get mad at people in the Limbus Company community and the Final Fantasy XIV community for not having any media literacy. But, you know, with all that being said, like, I haven't read, like a proper, like, challenging piece of literature in a while. You know, I haven't read like one of the great classics, one of the certified bangers, you know. I haven't like sat down and done that in a while. And I was watching that video about like the functional illiteracy thing, and it's like how so many people in high school and college haven't read a book in a year, and it's like, huh? I thought that shit was required, brother. But I guess with this, with all this new, like, AI chat GPT stuff, you can kind of just do whatever the hell you want, right? Speaking of doing whatever the hell you want, it's old shotgun time. And it's like, that, like, I mean, some of it, like, here's the thing, AI has made the problem significantly worse, but every time I watched a video on, like, illiteracy or, like, how badly people are doing in schools, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, by the way, what the hell? Every time I watched a video about anything like that, everybody's always like, oh yeah, no, this has been a problem for decades, it's just, this is the culmination of it, you know what I mean? Oh. You know what, I have an idea. It's 4, we're gonna Ghostly Spear. What do you mean I missed the attack? I mean, we're committed. I'm throwing a Ghostly Spear at you. You're gonna die. I mean, I don't really want to do it like that, but it's a 95-95. We're not gonna whiff those, right? That worked out, like, halfway decently, I guess. Perception is finally at a half decent... I only went to the forest once, you piece! I'm gonna rest again. I want to lose stamina, and then I want to rest again, because we're at, perfect. I actually don't even think I need to rest, but I will, because we're actually doing fantastic on Doom. But, you know, I feel like I should read, like a pretty heavy book, you know, or maybe, like, a really long book series or something. Just to kind of, like, get back in the swing of things. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we're only 6 months in, but I haven't really read, like, a full book to completion, you know what I mean? So I'm just a little bit hesitant about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a little hesitant about it. Yo, magic item. Random result after casting a spell, let's do it. We have Ghostly Spear, we might actually cast that. Is that a human bone? Me holding a human skull. No, you vile fiend! How dare you have a human bone? I will kill you. I will end your villainy. Right here, right now. Maybe I won't, actually. Maybe I'll just take a little... You can't run, because this is a new encounter. It's a new gen encounter, brother. You can't run from these. So we're gonna take 1 source of damage, which is, like, pretty annoying, but, like, you know... You know, it is what it is. You had 13 health? I have the Forest Note, right? Yeah. Because it's like, I haven't, like, fully completed a book all year, and then I was, like, reading all that stuff and watching all those videos about, like, hey, you know, a lot of adults, a lot of teenagers, a lot of college students, a lot of, like, high schoolers aren't reading books, and they haven't read books in years, or, like, you know, something like that. I was only half paying attention because I didn't get a lot of sleep tonight. I stayed up all night washing, doing laundry, and then, see, I underestimated this because my roommate has these, like, covers put on, not covers, not like blankets, but like these sort of like pads that go over the bed, you know? It's sort of like it wraps around the bed, or like, you know, you put it over the bed like a sheet, and it covers the bed with a cushion. And I washed it, and then I put it in the dryer, and then it was wet, and I put it in the dryer, and it was still wet, and then I put it in the dryer again, it was still wet, put it in the dryer, and, you know, about like 4 or 5 cycles in the dryer, and then it was done. And it was also 6 in the morning at that point, so, you know. Anything that I've watched today, I'm kind of cooked. But it was like a lot of people I don't remember if it was high school or college, but it was like one of those demographics, like, don't really read a lot, and then it's like, a few, like a decent chunk of US adults haven't read a book in like over a year. And it's like, that's kind of scary, honestly. Oh, it's residential recluse, brother. What am I doing? Well, let's go gambling. It's time to lose all of our max stamina. But we can get rid of Fearful, so that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it was a little freaky to actually, like, read all that and hear all that. It's like, yeah, we do have an illiteracy crisis. There are a lot of people who are functionally illiterate. But at the same time, it's like, you know, this isn't really, like, AI's fault. AI is not helping, and AI is making it much, much worse. Do not get me wrong. But it is the situation where it's like, it was already fucked, and now it's even more fucked, if you know what I mean, right? So it's like, it doesn't really, like, it's bad. It's really bad. But at the same time, we didn't need that stamina anyways, by the way, because our max stamina is about to be 8. Our max stamina is probably about to be 7, so we'll just take the Doom, that's fine. We're doing absolutely fantastic on Doom, and we're not going to need to rest, so, you know. Actually, maybe we rest once. 4 damage, we do a little 4 damage here, we do a little 4 damage there, and, you know, we get there. In the end, we get there. I actually, I don't know if I was paying attention to that. I was just pressing buttons. I'll be honest, I was just pressing buttons. I was just pressing buttons here. It's true. Could be some sanity, so I don't have to rest, even though we could rest if I wanted to, and it wouldn't give me any negative outcome whatsoever, because we have, like, 50 Doom on Mystery 5. So we're just kind of cruising to victory. Now, I think I was gonna do, like, the LOL Dole, and then there's a new League of Legends Dole, which is, like, Bone Dole, where you try to guess based on the skeleton of the character or whatever. Yo, I got sanity back because of the skull? I completely forgot about that. But, you know, there's a... I think I already did them today. I'm not entirely sure. So that might be a tomorrow thing. And I do need to go kind of quick here because I'm pretty limited on time. I'm not, like, super limited on time, but, like, we have a raid soon, and it's like I'm kind of cooked, and it's like, oh, no, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I can run away from you. You're an old gen enemy. You were, like, really early on in the game. I don't have to respect you. I can run away from you, even though you're doing -3 damage. To all, even. Ooh. -3 all my health? Ooh, spooky. We're just kind of cruising to the victory, I'll be honest with you. If you wanted to, like, this is Gumball sitting in the Oval Office saying, listen, we all know where this is gonna end, so let's just skip right to it. Pressing the button, the nuke drops in the background. You already know how it's gonna go. You already know how it's gonna go. I don't even need to do this. But we're chilling. We're having a good time. Like, oh no, I spent stamina before the stamina boss. Whatever will I do? Can I actually, like, absolutely... Oh my god, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this, chat? You're cooked? And my ringing ears immediately go away. You've lost the cultists for now. Oh, those clever cultists, they never could quite catch me. Oh, wait, I'm dead? Hold on. You've been waiting. No. Wait. Okay, no, we're fine. That was almost so preventably, avoidably bad. If that was all 3 of them that we had to deal with, and I leveled up right then and there, that's a guaranteed loser right there. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Oh. If you skipped straight to the end, you would have missed that absolute banger. It would have been, like, the funniest thing ever, though. Like, let's be real. Thanks for writing Infested Girl in the comments down below. I appreciate it. And if you didn't do that, I'm sad. And I don't appreciate it because you didn't do it. If you did do it, thanks. I really appreciate it. If you didn't do it, then I have nothing to be appreciative over because you didn't do it. That's not true. I do have something to be appreciative for, and you know what that is? Thanks for watching the video up to this point. That really means a lot. You know what's... like, listen. Comments, likes, subscribes. They're great for the algorithm, and you should do it. But... more importantly, what's really important, what's really helpful, is increasing the average viewer duration and watching the video for the length that it is. That's more important than probably anything that you could do. But it's also probably, like, as far as metrics-based stuff goes, I don't know, it's like the hardest thing to do. Because if you're like a viewer who's like having a good time in the video and you stay to the end of the video, like that's easy, right? Because you were having a good time in the video. So I guess it's like a skill issue on my part sort of thing. But like, then like liking, commenting, subscribing, these are all external things that take time out of your day. Even if liking and subscribing is really fast, it still does take time. And, you know, some people probably don't want to do that, but I'm just kind of rambling right now. So I'm kind of, like, internalizing it of, like, the watch time, that's a skill issue on my part. And then the likes, the subscribes, and the comments, that's what you have to, like, be the YouTuber moment and beg for. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. My name is Webweaver. I'll see you on the next episode of whatever you decide to watch next. There will be variety in the future. I'm just very eepy right now.